All right, so this is episode 30 of the Master of None podcast. Wow, can't believe I'm at 30 episodes. Soon I'll be at 30 years of life. Can't wait. Oh my God. Actually, the age of 30 might be when I start drinking again. Taking a big hiatus, and I might reconvene at 30, or at least decide what I'm going to do at 30. We'll see. Anyway, so to start things off, going for the chess portion, it was a super successful tournament this past Saturday, the East Atlanta Chess Championship. We had 40 people, break even was 25. I did a new idea, kind of like an extended lunch break. So the way it worked was rounds at 10, 12, and then basically the longest your game could go is from 12 to 2 p.m. And round 3 was at 4 p.m. So I give people basically 2 hours to get lunch, do whatever you got to do, go home, take a nap for some people. A lot of positive responses. I might make it a little bit shorter. Instead of making it 2 hours, I might make it an hour. That's something that we have to talk about and see. Overall, though, having an extended lunch break is a great idea. There was a lot of people who finished early, went home. I know one old guy said he took a nap, ate some food, felt great the second half of the tournament. So that was wonderful. Now, maybe a side effect of this extended lunch break was the Blitz tournament was a little, I think, underachieving. We had 10 people. I was shooting for 20. It seemed like a lot of people were tired. Even the people who, like the people who won the tournament, they didn't even stay. If those people are tired, that means people are pretty tired. So definitely gonna have to figure out how to improve that next time. I think just the fact that we had one tournament, and if we try to make it regular, people will get accustomed to the fact that there's a Blitz tournament. I'm sure a lot of people didn't even realize, even though I did make announcements, or they just weren't mentally ready for it. I think the more times the tournament happens, the more, one, just turnout overall is going to be higher, but also for the Blitz tournament and for everything else. So not really stressing that too much, just different things to work on. Remember, like, just because it's a good event doesn't mean you can't improve certain areas, because the goal is to make it a great event, not just a good event. So just like a chess game, any area that I can improve, I will be working to improve. Now, what else? Kind of a funny story. The guy who won was this 14-year-old kid, Ethan Sheehan, really strong chess player, has a lot of knowledge, studies a lot, prepares hard. I remember during lunchtime, he was like, "Hey, I don't have I think his parents make him pay for everything, at least for chess, which I think is a great practice, and it makes him like work hard and be just very careful with money instead of life is sunshine and rainbows." I think he had like $10.50, and he was like, "How much is the sub? If it's $10.51, I can't get it." And I was like, "Buddy, don't worry. If it's anything extra, I'll pay for it." And he ended up going from $10.50 to $500. He won first place. So now Ethan is rich. He's happy. He was super excited, gained rating. He got to beat some good people, had a really good tournament, went 4-0, and was just so happy. He even thanked us for letting him sit with us during lunch, which is really sweet and very nice. And I really think he can make Grandmaster. I think he has the potential. He has the passion for chess, so it'd be really cool to see that. Just another thing with these tournaments and just kind of creating a community in this East Atlanta or just this Georgia chess. I'm really already starting to think about the next generation of chess players. I want more grandmasters to come out of Georgia, more just ambitious, strong chess players. And that means running tournaments and really encouraging these people to play and travel and do more. And that's definitely one super exciting thing that I'm seeing out of running this tournament. Also with my students, I'm really starting to gear toward only teaching very serious chess players. And the ones that are serious, I am putting 110% effort into making them better, just being very professional. I will go more in depth during the student section, but I'm starting to, I guess, pass the torch to the next generation of chess players. Of course, my goal is still to make GM. I plan on making GM, but on top of that, as an organizer, as a promoter, as a chess player from the great city of Atlanta, the state of Georgia, I want not only to see me, but also other people from here become better, successful and really spread just the Georgia name. So that's another cool thing about having a community. Preparation for this tournament, as in like getting everything ready, was literally just 10 out of 10. This honestly was the smoothest tournament I've ever run. It was so easy. Everything went pretty much perfect. Maybe some little things here and there. It was the first time for this kind of event in this area. So that being said, it was just phenomenal. So one thing that I did was the day before I went through, I put everyone's name in WinTD. I double checked all the buys, made sure everyone was in the right situation or whatever they asked for. Put all the IDs in. I even sent an email out at 2 a.m. just welcoming everyone to play, giving them all the important details. That actually it's like saved some people, because one of the addresses somewhere was off slightly, and now everyone knows, and I don't think anyone ended up going to the wrong spot. There actually was somebody who, and there always is one person who, after 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the first round starting, I call them like, hey, are you coming? Hey, are you coming? And then they hit me with the classic, man, I just woke up. What can I do? Or I don't think I'm going to make it today. And for this case, it worked out well, where there was 2 people who opponents didn't show up. One of them actually wasn't going to show up. So I paired those guys together. And I told this guy, hey, if you want to come, I can get you in for round 2. I can even give you a bye first round. And then we ended up talking a bunch, and he ended up being a cool guy to talk to, and actually really taught me a lot about the sponsorship side of organizations and finding locations. And actually, let me get into that a little bit. So for sponsorship side, like, something I learned from him is when talking to a company, don't say, we'll do this forever. Give it a 1-year time frame. That way you have room to negotiate, especially if you're seeing an increase in sales or an increase in, notoriety. And that made a lot of sense to me. And it also shows when you're negotiating with a potential sponsor, you're taking this very seriously too. Like, it's not just, hey, I want money from you. It's like, hey, I'm going to give you a lot of advertising, and a year from now, I'm going to give you even more advertising than you thought you were going to get. So I am prepared to ask for a raise in 1 year. And that shows a serious level of commitment and belief in your product. And this is something that I think we're definitely going to try to improve on for the second tournament a month from now. Just talking to companies, trying to get other companies involved, putting their names here, putting their products here. It's something that's very new for me, and you really don't see it in the chess world so much, just having sponsors. Like, that's actually something I saw in Europe a lot. Like, Italy had a bunch of sponsors, a bunch of different people, posters everywhere. So that's something that we definitely want to work on. Actually, there already were some companies that reached out, some people that reached out saying that they want to be part of this. So that's something that we're going to have to pursue. And something that I've learned from doing this event is a lot of it is up to you. If you don't pursue it, it's not going to happen. But if you do pursue it, it can become a reality. So if you have something in mind, if you see a good opportunity, really push for it and make it happen. Because a good idea isn't something good unless it actually gets executed and turned into reality. So that is something that I have seen in a tie-in probably later on, but with stand-up comedy. Anyone can do it. You just have to decide to do it. And then it's really up to you to learn how. Like, there's no book on how to be a comedian or on what to do to become a better comedian. I mean, there's some things here and there, but a lot of it is just observation, trial and error. And that's something that really, something nice that came out of this conversation that I'm glad happened. And it's all because I let this guy take the first round off and come back and join the tournament. Now, what else? There's so many happy people. A lot of people were, thank you for doing this. Moms were all about this. They were so happy. Another thing with this is I actually have so many pictures from this event. I have one photographer who had 140 pictures. I have another photographer who has like 200 pictures. Another photographer who has like 15 pictures. So, I mean, it's great. It's wonderful. I just don't know what to do with all these pictures. And it's not even like they're just pictures. These are like top quality, some of the best quality pictures I've seen in my life. Like, these are legit professional pictures. Like, either of these people can literally, anytime they want, be a photographer for our event. I even had another photographer who I hit up last minute and said he would have loved to do it, but he was out of town. So we have literally like 3 professional photographers for these events. I don't know what to do with all of them or what to do with all the pictures, but it's great, and it's really nice to see, and it's great to see the community just really getting behind this event. Now, one cool story, one of many cool stories that came from this event, is I had this one mom who emailed me like the day before, like, hey, I signed up for something, and I should pay you $30 instead of $50. I signed up way before, and I was really patient with her. I was like, show me any proof you signed up before, and I will give you the discount. I just asked her to show me proof, and then she got like kind of upset. She was like, okay, maybe we won't play or something, and then she like made fun of the website, made fun of the professionalism of the website. And I just rolled with it. I didn't engage. I kept it really nice, really cordial. I said, we would love to have you. And then at the end, I ended it by saying, okay, I understand there's a confusion this time. I will let you pay the cheaper entry fee, the earlier entry fee. And then next time, I don't expect any confusion because now you know what to do. And then the next morning, she comes and hands me $20 because she asked her son and she checked. And apparently, she signed up for the wrong tournament and was confused about that. And I think the fact that I kept it very cool, very mellow, very non-confrontational, it just made her really apologetic about it. And she was like, we will definitely be here at more tournaments. Her son is a good chess player, has a lot of potential. So, I mean, I would never want to get in the way of this kid becoming a better chess player on top. So it was really just a win-win, but also just a good way to show that customer service, being patient, and accommodating customers is a very important skill, and it's something that I've learned will always help long-term for your events. The more regulars, the more good vibes that you can give people who come, the more people that will come back. So I really, really, really am trying to take this mentality and add it to the Tuesday night events where those aren't doing so well, and I really am trying to find a way to make those better. So that's pretty much it from the East Atlanta chess tournament kind of side, the setting up a tournament, having volunteers for the tournament, which we had so many volunteers. There are so many white people who want to just help and spend their time helping. It's really sweet. It's really nice. But the funny part about running a tournament is it's really easy. And aside from setting up and cleaning up, the middle, like me and my friend can easily do that. Like I don't even think my friend had to do anything. He did some really good analysis with people. He was helping other people, kind of more like as a mentor, as a teacher on the side. And I was more on the running the tournament and making sure everything ran smooth kind of side. And it's a very good yin-yang complementary kind of thing. And I think that's another big reason that people had so much fun. It's just Carter was always there to talk to people or to help them with their games or just, I guess, socialize with them. And I am socializing less, but I did do socializing, and that'll be a whole other thing for later in this podcast. So that's it for the tournament side. Now, I want to talk about preparation and kind of the side of being a professional chess player, a serious chess player. So when it comes to preparation, I think it is very, very, very important to have a group of people. Okay, once again, a community of people trying to get better, trying to improve. Like I had a training match today. It was great. We talked about the games. I got to discuss some ideas with him in the opening. And then next week we're going to go look over our games, try to bring stuff new stuff to the table, and just keep working on our craft. And having multiple people like that is very good for your development as a chess player. But now this is the big thing that I think I need to amend, or at least be very strict on. When it comes to actually performing in a chess tournament, when it comes to actually being there, when it comes to putting in all this time, putting in all this money, I need to be more of a lone wolf. That means you don't get distracted. That means you don't go to dinner with 10 people and have to coordinate all this different hoopla. That means when people are like, we should do something, you don't say yes to these people. And I have a very specific story that I remember, and it really sticks to my mind. It's so, visceral in my head, and this is basically how it goes. So I think I lose a tough game, or no, I draw a game that I should have. I played down. Honestly, I should have lost it, but I escaped with the draw, so I was happy. And then people want to go out to dinner, and I say no. I'm not going out to dinner. I don't want to go. I need to keep practicing, keep looking at my stuff. And something else that was frustrating about this was, and I think this is very important, when you're playing in a chess tournament, don't overdo opening preparation. Because I remember I was sitting there looking at some Stonewall Dutch stuff and just racking my head again and again and again. It's like, I can't figure out how to do this. I think during the tournament, okay, do a little opening preparation or some stuff before the game or for your opponents. But aside from that, I would say like read a book, watch a documentary or something. Like try to just learn, keep your mind engaged, but don't be hitting a brick wall and being like, I don't know what to do here. What if I get this next round? Like all the preparation you do for openings, like 95% should be done before the tournament starts. And then during the tournament, I think it's very important to just be in a good mood, just be happy, just kind of go through some ideas, just flow through a bunch of ideas. That way, when you're playing, you have a very open mind to the position. So back to this story. So basically, I am going through the Stonewall Dutch stuck, and these people want to go to dinner, and I remember saying adamantly like, no, I'm not gonna go, and then everyone gets sad. They're like, oh, he's not going to go. No, we're not going to go. We're not going to do anything. And I just see these guys just fumbling, just straight up fumbling for 5 minutes. Not sure what to do, not sure where to go. Like, they still wanted to go. But now they were just, like, almost in a disarray. Like, it's not like Zubat used confusion, and now these guys had no idea what they're doing. And then I just felt bad. And then I was like, all right, fine, I'll go. We can go. Let's go. And then, of course, everyone gets happy and blah, 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 and everything's great. And then, okay, it was like, I'm not going to drink. At least, okay, I'll go have dinner. And I'm pretty sure at this point I already ate too, so I wasn't even hungry. So I go there to accompany everyone. I order nachos, eat half the nachos, saved half for later. And then, of course, and I didn't drink, but out of nowhere, bartender says, hey, we got a free drink. You want one? Someone want this? And no one had said anything. I was like, well, we can't waste free alcohol. So I ended up drinking this drink. It was like a gin and tonic. It wasn't like something crazy. It's not like I got super sauced or anything, or I even got like drunk or anything. It's just, I just felt my character and my plan completely flip or turn upside down in the span of one day. And I was really racking my head for this tournament, like what really happened, because like I started out so well, and then all of a sudden, like I find myself in the hole, or like I find myself just like, how did I get here? Like I beat a GM. I played literally a beautiful game, like one of the sexiest games you will ever see. And then all of a sudden, I lose, and I'm just like actually, it wasn't even that bad. I lost, and then I drew a strong player, and then I think I lost after that. That actually, the win against the GM was the last win I had in that tournament. I got 2 wins, I think a draw, and then I lost, and then dropped out. But the shift of me going from starting well to, I don't know, not doing so well happened that day, where I was just like, oh man, I should have won. I'm stuck. I don't want to go out. And then, I don't know, just like sacrificing for other people to go out. So now my new philosophy is really like, tournament, I will go downstairs, I will play my game, I will come upstairs, and I will read a book. If it comes to food, honestly, I'm just going to order food for myself. Like, I also don't like this whole, and it's really nice and it's really sweet of my friends being like, all right, who wants food? I'll order food for everyone. Let me do this. Let me do that. And I got to worry about who am I going to pay back? Who am I going to do this? Or when do I have to get this guy back? Or really the big nightmare is if one person buys food for everyone, now it's almost unwritten that one meal you're going to buy food for everyone. And I'm not trying to drop $150 on food. Just because you're going to do it doesn't mean that I have to do it. I'm completely happy dropping $15, $20 on food and letting that last the whole day. Because that's another thing with me. Like, if I get like a biryani, for example, that's food for 2 meals, sometimes even 3. For most people or other people, like, they're eating 3 actual meals a day. So it doesn't even make sense for me to sync up with these guys in terms of eating. So really, and once again, like, I love my friends. I really would do anything for my friends. But I cannot keep sacrificing tournaments, money, time, energy, and just coming out in a losing position in a matter of terms. So I think it is very important to train and prepare and to strive to be good in a wolf pack kind of method. We're going to do this together community method. But when it comes to playing, when it comes to tournaments, like, just keep it simple, man. We don't have to do this and that. All I want to do is read a book, watch something nice, easy, relax, get my mind stimulated, but no exertion, no like even with these guys, like coordinating 10 people and where you want to eat food is like a whole 1 hour kind of, I don't know, like mini rapid game. Like we gotta decide this guy likes Indian food, this guy is vegetarian, this guy is vegan, this guy's pescatarian, this guy doesn't want to go here, this one person doesn't leave. It's like, oh my, and then you can only 4 people can sit together or 6 people can sit together, so now you gotta break up. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, can I just order food, eat in my room, do push-ups, and live happily ever after? Like, I go to the gym. I remember the first day we went to the gym, we worked out, and that was the only day. Because after that, it's just like you're on the full swing of things. Like, I do understand, in America, you have 2 rounds a day. It's pretty back-to-back. But a lot of it is extra complications, doing extra things, like making it into a vacation. I am never, ever, ever, ever going to make a chess tournament into a vacation again. That is such a bad way to look at a chess tournament. And even the, okay, if it turns out into vacation kind of mentality is, I think, wrong too. Like, this is business. This is my life. Like, if I need to make Grandmaster. So I can't keep treating these like vacations. 1 game a day, okay, maybe you can have some fun here and there. But once again, like, this is work. Vacation is life outside. Like, vacation is after Grandmaster. Vacation, marriage, kids, everything else is after this. Until then, like, put my head down, focus, and just do what you gotta do, man. All right, so that's kind of it for the kind of preparation side versus execution side. Now, the last thing I want to say for the chess side is I am taking spreadsheets very, very seriously. Opening spreadsheets and opening preparation spreadsheets for my opponents. So everything I'm going to write down, everything I'm going to put down, everything I want to have a plan for. Another thing that I see sometimes with my openings is I have a good idea, intuition, but I'm not specific enough in, like, okay, if this happens, like, I'm ready for this and this. Or, like, I've gone through all these lines, I've been systematic, and now I'm ready. So another thing to add to this is with training matches, I'm trying to be regimented and write down what we played that day, how I was feeling, the outtake, the outlook, and what I'm going to improve on or work on. So last thing to say for the chess side of it is just being very professional, very methodical, very on top of things. And this is a very interesting point that I think is a valid point, but different styles are good for different people. Like, I know other people who completely flow. They, like, for example, Timur Gureyev is just a super strong grandmaster, and I think he does have chess files for everything, but a lot of his life is just kind of like, do whatever, go with the flow. But of course, everyone at the highest level is backed by hard work, but then they have different mentalities of what I should do during their tournament. Some people don't sleep, some people party, some people don't party. For me, it's going to be, I am going to treat this like a professional fighter. Like, that is my outlook on chess, on all this different stuff. Like, just like the top level of fighters, none of them are messing around. None of them are goofing off. They are 100% locked in. They do their media obligations. But a lot of them don't drink. They don't smoke. They don't do anything crazy. They're just men. So that's just the best way to put it. Like, if you want to be good, if you want to be the best, you got to be a man. Or I don't want to be sexist about it. You just got to be a woman or a man, not a boy or a girl. That's the best way to put it. And then I guess the last thing I want to talk about was trophies, but that honestly doesn't even fit here. That's more for the students. So that's going to wrap up the chess section of episode 30. Next, I'm going to get into the student section. All right. So now that I'm talking about the student section, I actually realized why I added trophies to the other section of the podcast. Because trophies business-wise is a very smart way to go about things. Now, I don't think trophies for big events is as good, especially like for example, the Saturday tournament with 40 people. You want like big prices, like not like crazy prices, but like $500 first place or $200 first place. That seems more fitting. But for like the weekly tournaments, Tuesday, Wednesday, just like the things you do on a weekday, 3 rounds here, 2 rounds there, I think trophies make a lot more sense than having big prizes. Because trophies, are cheap, but they're also like very meaningful. And it's better for someone to get a trophy on a weekday than to get like $60 on a weekday. Like no one's trying to make like money on a weekday or like some serious money on a weekday. Like it's a bonus. And I think since we're only looking for bonuses, trophies make more sense. And from the organizing perspective, it's way better financially to get a couple trophies than to pay like $100 in prizes. Like for $100, you can get a lot of trophies and you can get them real nice. So 100%, I think trophies make a lot of sense. Now, the other stuff I want to talk about my students at the tournament. So 10 of my students played, which was actually 25% of the tournament was my students, and that I still like about half of them didn't play. So there could be up to about 25 students of mine playing. That would be really cool if my students are half the tournament. And it was something cool about seeing all my students that they're starting to hang out with each other. Like 3 of these Indian guys are in the same grade in the same school. I think they're in like 9th grade or 10th grade, and they all like hang out. It's just interesting seeing them hanging out together. Like I'm the common thread that brings them together, and it's like a nice thing to see, seeing your students become friends and they can bond over how much work I make them do and the things that I say. And I never really ask them about anything, but I wonder if any of that happens. That'd be funny. Or like the stupid things I say or the funny things I say. I don't know. One day maybe when I'll find out. But it is really cool because, once again, I'm building this community of people that I all want them to get better and improve. And then the other 2 things that I'm going to talk about really are showing the growth in my students. So the first thing is opening spreadsheets and color coordinating and writing stuff down. So I'm actually going to even use the video for this. So if you go on YouTube, you can kind of see what's going on with the spreadsheets. So I'm color coordinating them. Actually, let me add the common mistakes. So the way this works is I've broken all the notes down into 4 main categories. So the main categories are going to be opening, middle game, end game, general mistakes, and common mistakes. So the color coordination that goes with this is I made green opening, middle game yellow, red end game. Just the basic stoplight. But it goes in order, that way it's a little bit more clear and I guess a bit more obvious which is which. Now, general, I made blue just because blue is a very common color. And then mistakes, I made black and white. And by black and white, I mean white text, black fill. So it really sticks out and it looks like a sore thumb. So every week we'll take notes, put them in the spreadsheet. Actually, this is probably a better example. Just more notes. And color coordinate them. That way you can also see the area of chess where you're seeing you need to improve more on. For example, in this spreadsheet, first 2/26, you can see light blue. So generally, there was a lot of mistakes. The week after that, you could see end games were becoming more of a problem. So that's the first thing that I do. The next thing that I'm doing is making opening spreadsheets for everyone. So anytime we learn something in the opening, anytime I'm like, okay, next time you do this, you're going to go to the specific opening. For example, in this, we could say Rosalimo. We did a lot of Rosalimo last class. You would go to Rosalimo. You would add the note that you took that we talked about to the spreadsheet. Actually, something I'm going to add to this even more is I want to put the date down that we learned this lesson. That way you can see how long ago it was, how much you need to review it, stuff like that, which I think is going to make it way more organized and just way more specific on how to improve. Like really the big theme that I'm trying to do with my students to improve and see improvement in my students is just trying to be more and more specific. I'm trying to narrow it down as much as possible, make it as clear as possible what you want to try to improve on. That way, it's going to be easier to improve. Otherwise, if you stay general, you get general results. If you become specific, you're going to know exactly what to do specifically, and you're going to get results because you're fixing exactly what's making you have problems, not what might make you have problems. So I think that's a really cool thing that I've been doing for my students. They're color coordinating, adding the opening element, and just making them write stuff down. Now, common mistakes, my fix for this is, let's say, for example, a common mistake a student is making is whenever they're winning, they're not trading. So I'll make them write, when winning, keep it simple, or trade when winning, trade queens when winning. And every 5 times you make that mistake, you have to write it down that many times, or at least 5 times. So let's say you don't trade. The 5th time that happens, when it says times 5, you're writing it down 5 times. Then let's say a couple weeks later, you've been accumulating and you get to times 10. Now you're going to write it down either another 5 times or another 10 times. That way we're really reinforcing what the common mistake is. That way we're going to be very conscious about not making that mistake. And if you write it 1,000,000 times, I would think eventually you start really being paranoid about it and making sure it doesn't happen. So that's going to be another great way to solve mistakes. And kind of the culmination of all of this really just happened today or this evening. One of my students, his rating was like 400. And this guy, like, in the beginning, he was slacking off. I had to be really serious with him. But now this kid is becoming a gangster. Like, he's worked really hard. He's pretty much practicing every day. He's writing it all down in his spreadsheet. And today, so he was 461 after maybe 3-4 tournaments, and he played a 1200 today. He wasn't even winning. He literally just had some pressure, and the 1200 offered him a draw. And this guy didn't even know what to do. Neither of them really knew what to do. So one thing when offering a draw is you make your move and then you offer a draw. This kid offered a draw when it was his move, and then asked if he could pause the clock while the opponent thought. So obviously you can't do that. So he made a move, offered a draw. My student thought for a sec, thought for a bit. It was under 5 minutes as well. And it wasn't like he's just winning. He was literally just had pressure, and he was lower on time. He was in time pressure. And then he makes a move, declines the draw, and then finds a very nice tactic. There's actually a sequence of tactics. I think he could have made it a bit easier, but a sequence of tactics like boom, 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 with a super nice double check made at the end. So it was a very cool way to finish off that game. And I mean, he's 460 provisional. After this game, he might be 600-700. And it's really cool to see, because I think he started at like 100 or 200, and he's just been working, just grinding, grinding. And now, I mean, he's really starting to see the results. And I really think this is going to help his confidence too. Knowing that you can beat this level of person will 100% help you in your future games. And that is why I say, like, if you can play a tournament, if you can practice, go for it. Because you never know, like, which tournament's going to really give you that confidence, give you that knowledge that, hey, I can beat these people. On the flip side, like, sometimes you're going to take some beatings at some tournaments. So, I mean, I guess be careful with it, but have that balance of, like, if I can play, in the beginning it's all about reps, and then as you get better and better and later, you decide to pick your battles a little bit more. So that has been kind of what's going on with my students. Honestly, just super cool stuff. I'm very happy with my students. I mean, especially, like, I haven't played a tournament now for about 2 weeks, so it's been more in the groove of things. And as long as I'm here and present, my students are present and working hard, and that is a good thing for sure. All right, so that's it for the student section. All right, so now I'm going to talk about stand-up comedy. So now that I've been back in Atlanta, I did 2 open mics last week, Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday was pretty good. The problem was the crowd was very, very light, and I had to go to, I think, towards the end. And I was definitely kind of distracted. I had a friend there, and she had a friend there. And there's always that pressure. If you bring someone, you're like, oh, man, I better not mess up. And overall, I got through this set. I did what I was supposed to do. I only had 1 day before to write. I did a bunch of new stuff. But overall, I'd say quality was good. Quality was very good. But Thursday was really the day to shine. And even then, I could have done a lot better. And that's why I really like stand-up comedy, and why I think I can get good, is even on the good sets, I really confidently think that, I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, with some real work and real practice, this could be 100 times better, which really excites me. So Thursday was pretty good. So Thursday, like, I definitely got, like, I think I got like 5 or 6 clips. Like, normally I can get like 2 or 3 highlights and be like, okay, I can show this to people. That day, like, I think 5, 6, maybe even 7, and like 2 of them were solid. Like, there was a good Mike Tyson bit, and there was a good horror movie and guns bit, which honestly, like, don't sound like the most friendly and happy bits, but no, they're really goofy and silly, and I think they're really good points too. Definitely makes some sense. And now something that I did with this is rewatching it, knowing where to edit, and rewriting it too. Like, as I watch these clips again and again and again, ideas start coming about how I can make this even sharper, how can I even make this more efficient, or I can change the word order to make the joke different or funnier or more specific, I guess, for example. So that's really cool. And then, okay, so let me go into practicing a bit too. So practicing, my new philosophy is I'm going to practice my bit every night before I go to bed. Not just the day before, not just the day of a couple times. Like, I want to really just practice saying this again and again and again. That way it's muscle memory. Because, like, even on Thursday, the set that was good, like, I was definitely fumbling the words a bit. Like, I said something about Kanye West, and I was like, oh, wait, no, I mean his birthday is June 8th. And I ended up getting kind of away with it. What helped a lot was there was these two guys. I think one of them was definitely gay. That were just dying at everything I was saying. That kind of just got the crowd more involved too. Like, just like I was saying way earlier, if you can get regulars, you can get people that are just really happy to be there. Other people see that, and other people will join you. So whoever's picking up what you're putting down, make sure they always know that you appreciate it, and they will keep picking it up. And then you'll start getting a crowd, a following, and everything else. I don't even remember what I was saying with that. It was something about, how I was fumbling the words and how it could have been better. And that's why I think doing the same set, I would say at least 2-3 weeks, not like 2-3 years, but like 2-3 weeks, I would say, of doing a set and then just being able to say it backwards if you really need to. That will be how you can just flow very naturally. Another thing I noticed, and I might have talked about it the last podcast, but when you're trying to just say all the same words that you wrote down, it doesn't sound as natural and it sounds more robotic. And I saw this with this guy, Taylor Neely. He does this super, super well. And so do all the more experienced comedians. Like, they do kind of say the same words, but it feels like they're talking to you. Like, they're basically trying to convince you of something. They have an idea, and they're using words to explain this idea to you, instead of memorizing a book and trying to just say the book. So kind of what I did this Thursday, and what I'm really trying to do the open mics this week, is like have a topic, have your punchlines, but like talk to someone, like say it in a way that you're talking to someone. Don't memorize everything. More like, for me, like one of my bits is like, why would anyone feel bad for a bear? It's a serial killer. And then instead of saying all the lines, I would actually just try to convince you or convince the crowd of why a bear is a serial killer. And when you do that, it sounds way more natural, way more conversational, and that's what really makes people laugh. Not like, sometimes, okay, the well-written, like, book type stuff is great, but if you can say it in a conversation way and hit it like a good story, that's what a good story basically is. Like someone telling you, explaining to you, and putting you in their shoes. That way you feel like you were there. So that's basically the work I've been doing with the bits and the back end. Now the front end has also been super interesting. I've gotten on TikTok, daaron.3, YouTube, daaron.3, and I post on Instagram. Facebook is probably somewhere where I gotta post this stuff too, but I don't want to, like, there is a level where it's like, how much do you want to tell everyone what you're doing, and how much do you want to be free? And actually, that's probably going to be how I kind of end the podcast in the last section. But just to kind of have the freedom, and if you tell everyone in the world, like, obviously, like, not like, this isn't like Disney, like, how do you eat cereal? Like, cereal's great. It's like, I'm trying to make some, like, this is what I really think about. And I know some of it maybe isn't the best for like super young kids, or just like some people aren't ready to hear about having guns or Mike Tyson and stuff. But come on, we're adults here. Like, you take it, like, I am very careful not to swear a lot, not to be vulgar, not to talk about any really weird topics. So, it's a little bit of a give and take on where to post and how much to post. But TikTok, YouTube, Instagram are great. And I think these are great because I really want to cater this more to strangers, or maybe people in Atlanta, or like, I guess just up my presence on social media, and not tell my high school friends or on Ruth what my opinions on guns are, for example. Now, something very specific that I've learned through TikTok and through YouTube is never post 2 videos on the same day. And this is really interesting. Every time I do this, and I don't know why, but I always post in 2s. Literally, like the 5 times I posted, it's 2 clips at a time. And this happens every time. One clip has like 200 views. One clip has like 10 views. It's always like really big one and then really small another. And then another thing that I see, like actually something that's really cool is the YouTube clip I posted from Thursday got 2,000 views in like a day. So that's how I know, like, okay, this, like, I actually have something here. And I didn't even do that right. Like that I think that was actually, that one was pretty good. But the other one that was really good, I posted the same day. And that one, like, it got no views. And I thought it was equally as funny, if not more funny. So if you're ever posting on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, do one a day and then kind of like space it out. Like that's what I'm going to try to do. Like if I have, let's say I have like 4 clips from the next open mic I do, I'll post one Monday. And then I'm very curious, do I wait till Tuesday? Do I wait 24 hours? Or do I wait till Wednesday? So that's the experimentation I'm going to do. I'm going to try to do the same time the next day. So if I post at 9 p.m. on Monday, I want to post at 9 p.m. on Tuesday. At least kind of around that time frame, just to see what happens. And now if I start getting 2 clips with 2,000 views, 4 clips with 2,000 views, this is going to go more to like 5,000, 8,000, 10,000. And now we can really see what's happening here. So honestly, it's like really exciting to see. Like, I mean, 2,000 views is like more than any chess video. Like, I might have a couple chess videos with more than that, but dude, like 2,000 views in like a day, like it's like finding gold, I would say. Now the last thing I kind of want to talk about with stand-up is I want to go so much more. Like I'm craving going, like especially the big ones, like Monday, Friday, and Thursday. Those I would say are the biggest ones. And in the right order, I would say Friday is the biggest, Monday is the second biggest, and Thursday is the last biggest. And the great thing with Monday and Friday is they start super late. They start at 10:30 or 11 o'clock. The list drops at 10:30. Now, something that I think is really important for people who are going to do stand-up is be early. Like, unless you like kind of just being there for like 2-3 hours, which, I mean, I think in the beginning I loved to do and I enjoyed. But now that I've been doing it for a while, I'm really trying to get in there, do my bit early, and get out. Now, when is the sweet spot is a very good question. And I think it's right around 4 to 8. So 1, 2, 3. One is super tough. One, like the crowd isn't really there. The crowd isn't warm, and you can feel it. Everything seems more like tentative, like less flowy. By 2, you're getting, because normally like whoever's doing the first one, it's a lot of times it's gonna be someone who's like good, who knows what they're doing, and they're just like, all right, I gotta do my thing and then get out of here. So that if they don't crush it, at least they warm up the room. And by 2, 3, now the crowd's really going. Now, people generally put the feature around 6, 7, 8, that number in the list. So for me, I went 5, which is perfect, because after me, they bumped the feature up, and the guy who was 6 had to go after. And it's not like it's terrible going after the feature, depending on the feature does. But if you're trying to get in and get out, I would say around 3, 4, 5, 6 is good. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait a while. And here's the other thing, like try to get early if you want to get a good spot on the list. Like don't show up just in time. Like on Friday, I showed up 1 minute early and the list was full. So I'm going to show up 30 minutes early from now on. And that is why I really want to practice every day too on top. That way, if I go, I'm going to go do my thing, do well, and then get out of there. Because if you go early, you don't have time to practice and sit there. If anything, if you stay there late, you have more time to question yourself, to doubt yourself, to reread your material and be like, okay, wait, this, okay, wait, this, and then like question yourself too much. So practice, go in, and something that I've been, like I did Thursday and I did the other days I went, was when I'm sitting there waiting, I'm not really thinking about my bit. I'm just sitting there enjoying what they're doing. I trust my practice. I trust I know what I'm doing. Once I get in the flow, it's very natural. Remember, I just have a couple topics, and then you talk about it for a good amount of it. Like, you don't have to do 180 words out of 180 words in a row. Like, you can move up a little bit here, move up a little bit there. As long as you've practiced, like, you'll generally know what to do, and that's kind of what we're striving for. So that is the stand-up portion. Honestly, super fun stuff. This is like one of my favorite things to do right now. But Jiu Jitsu and boxing are next, and they are not taking a back seat. They are with everyone else for sure. All right, so now for the Jiu Jitsu and boxing part of the podcast. This is actually, I feel good about this part because I'm finally like doing what I've been saying I've been gonna do for a long time. Like, going into the gym tomorrow, instead of kind of just doing the cardio class, doing the same drills here and there, which I'm not saying is bad. I've just done it a million times, and for me, like, it's not just about being in good shape. It's about actually like working on stuff that I'm gonna use. And basically, I watched some videos. Also, all credit goes out to MMA Shredded. He has a great YouTube channel. Let me add this right now. On just combinations, ideas, things to think about, strategy. Like, this guy does a really good job breaking it down, giving a lot of good content for free. I think he even has paid content, which probably at some point I'm going to have to get into because I'm a big fan of this guy and he does a super good job. And so my idea for the gym tomorrow is I've written down a couple combinations, and basically he does a video on good ways to enter into offense. So this is the things I'm going to work on the bag tomorrow. So I'll just go through them real quick. The combinations are hook, back fist, cross. So it's like a hook and then a jab. So you basically, if you miss the hook, you just turn into just a quick back fist, not like a whole spinning back fist and stuff. And then you finish off with the cross. Another one is jab high, jab low, and then cross. Because a lot of times you jab high, they bring their guard up. You jab low, they pull the guard down, and then you hit them with the cross, the power punch. Now that their guard is down. Another one is jab hook cross, same hand. So you go jab, you go hook. So I think the psychology here is jab, they shell up. Hook, you go around the shell, then they try to defend the hook, and that's when you hit them with the cross. The other cool one, and anything called a gazelle hook is going to be pretty cool. But basically, a gazelle hook is like when you wind up. It's almost when you slip and then throw a hook from the same side. These hooks have a lot of power because you're turning your whole body. So gazelle, so you hook from the body and then uppercut with the right hand, and then you hook with the left. The idea is you hit the body, they're going to drop their hands, then you come up with the uppercut. Now they're going to pull their hands up, and then you hook to go around the guard. And then the other two that I have are jab, cross, jab. So these are really light. This is just to get them shelling up. And that's when you go jab, jab, cross, or you try to hit them with the body cross and then a hook. Psychology here, once again, is to get them to shell up, move your hands fast, and then you can really sit down on some punches, try to get something going. And the last boxing combination is rear uppercut into the liver hook. And apparently this is a Canelo favorite. He's done this a couple times. So this is another one that I'm really looking forward to try tomorrow. So I'm going to write this stuff down. I'm going to put it on my phone. And then instead of doing the class, I think I'm going to run. And then I'm going to try these combinations on the bag. Boom, 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 boom. And then if my coach Steve wants to hit mitts or hit the pads, 100%, I'm with it. I'll do that with him. So really want to almost be professional, almost be meticulous, methodical in my approach to improving at boxing now. Been doing it for a couple years. So it's just very exciting to actually be doing the things that I've been wanting to do. And I'm going to just drill this 100, like maybe 50 times each, switch. 50 times each, switch, until it becomes very natural. But this way, like when I actually go to spar, when I actually go to fight someone, like this will be very natural, and I'll also be able to think about it and try this out. And after drilling the body enough times, if you can get it efficient, I'm sure. And this guy definitely knows what he's talking about. He has a lot of sparring footage of him doing these moves. And then I can revisit and see, okay, now how do I improve this now that I've actually done this? Now, some things for jiu-jitsu that I did look up some videos. Honestly, I think I'm going to come to jiu-jitsu Friday and just work on boxing tomorrow and getting into shape. Now, I have started lifting and running. First of all, the weather is amazing. It's what I've been waiting for. I got to run outside. I learned there's a Starbucks behind my place, thanks to running. So God bless running. It's good to be back, lifting, moving, just loving the weather outside. So that's great. Now, some things in jiu-jitsu, like I did watch some tape on what to do, and I really need to put a whole repertoire together. That's kind of my move next for Friday. Hopefully I'll be ready by Friday. I really just don't want to go in tomorrow and get thrown around to the wolves. I really want to go. If I'm going to go, I want to be prepared and have looked at different things and know what to do. So the things I looked at today, though, were just some stuff from Full Mount, because I know I'm going to find myself there more often than not, especially after taking a small, about a month hiatus. But something I never knew was when someone is full mounting, and this is not when you're full mounting them, this is when they're full mounting you. When a big, strong guy is sitting on your chest, drowning you with his body weight. So things that you can do are control their hands and their armpits. So the first thing that the guy kind of showed was putting a 2-on-1 and pushing their hand into their belly and then trying to turn around. So this is if they're kind of more shallow. Now if they're like super deep and their hands are posted on the ground, once again, you can grab the hand with the gable grip and then turn over. And this is another good way. And for some reason, I don't know why, but no one ever told me this, controlling their arms when you're on bottom position. For me, it's always been hide your hands, don't let them get an arm bar, this. But if you can control their hands, now you can actually sweep them a lot better too, because they don't have as much, control, and you have some leverage because you're controlling this arm. So actually, the arm that you push to their waist, you want to turn to the same side hand, because that's going to be their weak side that they can't post on or brace on. So some cool things there. Another one is if they're super high up on you, you can put your hands in their armpits, push, and then you can actually replace your hands with your feet, and then push on the belt. That's one cool one. Another really cool one is, I think, pushing on their armpits, and then you put your legs in the air, slide your knees down, and then you can actually escape that way. And I've seen it in the UFC, and it's like a shimmy yay, shimmy ya kind of thing, where they're on top, and I never knew what it was, but I remember the commentator was like, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. It's good. This guy did it to Jake Shields a bunch, Matt Campbell or something like that. This is how he escaped Full Mount from Jake Shields, who is a great jiu-jitsu practitioner. So that's something I'm really excited to try out, because I get full mounted a lot, and I can also let people full mount me. It's not a hard thing to do. I can just try it. And I'll end up full mounted, and then hopefully I can try this and see where it goes from there. Okay, so now last thing I wanted to do for the jiu-jitsu and boxing part, it was talk about just the UFC card the last week, and then the card, just a couple fights of the card coming up next week. My boy, dude, John Bones Jones, the GOAT, the great, the legend, my guy. Dude, he made Cyril look easy, no problem. And I am just so happy for this guy. Literally, I watched this fight Saturday night. Saturday and Sunday were some of the... Actually, maybe not Sunday. But Saturday was, the best day of my life. Just doing the tournament, hanging out with my friends after, watching John Jones, going to Dark Horse. And then I didn't have to wake up too early on Sunday. I just pushed one lesson to 30 minutes a little bit later. No problem. And it was a great way to go out. I'm just so happy for him. And I've only seen the last maybe 4 or 5 years of his career where I've been in MMA. That man has been through so much, through thick and thin. He's been through tests, lawsuits, this, that, everything. He's got arrested. He's had a car accident. He's gone sober. He's gone back. He's gone sober again. And it's really, really just good to see, now he's clean. He's working hard. He's focused. There was no after party, or there was no shenanigans. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. And that's kind of the goal. And that is why I like John Jones so much. Not just because he is the greatest of all time. Not just because He can fight in any style. He can wrestle, he can strike, he can kick, he can punch, he can elbow, he can take you down. He has jiu-jitsu, he has arm bars, he has headlock submissions. He is literally every aspect of fighting. He is a master at. But not only that, he is a human. He has his demons. He has his dark days. He has the bad decisions he makes, and he has strived to overcome that. And from what it looks like from this last fight, he has overcome it. He is now heavyweight champion of the world, pound for pound #1 easily. He jumped over everyone so fast. Like, remember a week ago they were arguing about Islam Makhachev or Alexander Volkanovski. Which one is pound for pound #1? Should have been him. He lost, but he's still pound for pound. Oh no. Boom. All of that. Throw that out the window. It's not even close. John Jones, #1, pound for pound, no question. Heavyweight, light heavyweight, more title defenses than people have fights in the UFC. Yeah. So apparently I saw this stat. John Jones has defended the title more times than Khabib has fought in the UFC. Insane. Now, the fights against Reyes and Santos weren't the best, but he also didn't wrestle at all in those fights. You didn't see him at his best. He was very complacent. Now that man is a beast. That man is out here taking people's souls. He's fighting Stipe next. I have no shred of doubt that John Jones is gonna maul Stipe. And also, poor Stipe, he sounds kind of different. If you watch videos from way back when he was in The Ultimate Fighter, he was joking around, he was happy, he was jovial. He was really fun just to watch, not even just fighting, but just living life. Now he just seemed kind of confused and slow and I guess I'll do this. I don't know. So John Jones is going to eat that man for breakfast 100%, in my opinion. Other ones from this fight, from this card, Valentina Shevchenko. Who would have thought she was going to get submitted? Not in a million years. And sad for me is I had Valentina in a parlay with all of my other favorites. And all my other favorites won, except for Valentina. And she got submitted. And, dude, at some point she literally had Alexa Grasso in a crucifix. And somehow, I wouldn't say somehow, it was good technique. Alexa got out of it. And I will say, Alexa had some hands. She was definitely, stinging her a couple times. But I thought Valentina was up 2-1 going to that round. And, I don't know, the spin into the takedown into the rear naked choke, honestly sick jiu-jitsu from Alexa Grasso. An immediate rematch is definitely what's next, and I think Valentina will still be minus 300, but respect to Alexa Grasso. That was a legit fight. That was it was fun to watch. I was shocked. I was literally shocked when Valentina tapped. I think she had 30 seconds left to survive, but no, it was tight, and I understand why she tapped. Now Jeffrey Neal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov is another great fight. Both those guys just put on a war. Love both of them. I thought Jeff Neal had a great chance, and he hit Shavkat with some shots. But Shavkat he's the future. 17-0. Dude is a legend. Dude is legit. Dude is dangerous. It'll be really fun to watch him. Another person that's gonna be super fun to watch is Bo Nickel. Just first fight in the UFC. Wins in 2 minutes. So it'd be really exciting to see where he goes from there. And then Cody Garbrandt, my favorite fighter, getting back in the win column. Man, I've been waiting for that, dude. I'm so happy to see him back winning, not knocked out. I really, really hope that he can get back on track and start getting some wins together and just do his thing. I'm a huge, huge fan of Cody No Love Garbrandt. All right, now the card coming up, I don't want to talk about all the fights. I just want to talk about the Russian fighters. They're all my favorites, and they're not super huge favorites. Peter Yan, I think after fighting Aljo 3 times, he's gonna be okay against Merab. Merab definitely, and Merab does train with Aljo, so they're gonna work together. And do I think Merab is as good on the ground as Aljo? I think his wrestling is more volume, but I don't think his technique is as good. And his finishing definitely isn't as good. He takes people down 13 times in a fight, which is good, except for the fact that the guy got up 13 times in the fight too, or 12 times in a fight too. So he's not really going to finish him there. He's going to try to, and I don't even think he's going to hold him there that long. And Peter Yan's been on the ground with Aljo, who's just been just one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners and wrestlers just in the UFC right now, pound for pound. So I think Peter's going to be okay. And then, man, Peter Yan is not happy. Like, he's going to take out some frustration on Merab. And Merab, I think, round 1 could be in some serious danger. Because we've seen it before against this guy. Man, okay, let me see if I can look this up. He's one of the best fighters in round 1 ever. He's literally beat everyone. Not Jose Aldo. Marlon Moraes. Marlon Moraes had him on death's door in round 1. Somehow Merab survived, and then Merab took him to church. That's what happens. So, Peter is, I think, a better version of Marlon. He is a slow starter. He's going to get his reads, but I would not be surprised if he won by finish. Like, just such a good fighter. Just too many losses to Aljo, and this is going to be a y'all forgot kind of a fight. Now, the next fight, Alexander Volkov versus Alexander Romanov. I like Volkov a lot, too. Volkov just has way more experience, and he's also the underdog in this fight. Now, Romanov is a gorilla of a man. I think his nickname is King Kong, if I'm correct. Alexander King Kong Romanov. Yeah, it is King Kong. So this man is going to try to take you down, ground and pound you, but he gasses really fast. And one thing I got to give Volkov is he went 5 rounds with Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades took this man down again and again and again and again. And no one I've really seen survive Curtis Blades except for Volkov. So I trust Volkov's durability. Also, I don't know if Volkov got finished by Derek Lewis. And even then, I don't think he was out cold. Actually, I want to see when his birthday is. He's a 6'8". Because another interesting thing about Volkov is in the front, he has literally no tattoos. In his back, it's a huge skull, scary back tattoo. So I wanted to check if he's a Gemini because it seemed very duality-like, but he is not, alas. But I think Volkov at plus money makes a lot of sense. Now, Krylov versus Spann was the main event from 2 cards ago. And Krylov was sick. I'm not going to really count anything for it. I'm going to just say it was a tough weight cut or something like that. Or he was actually sick. I mean, believe it or not, that stuff really happens. It's not just coronavirus that gets people sick. But I think Krylov is just the Russian dog. Like, he knows. Like, he's going to fight for your money. And Ryan Spann, who is a freak athlete, who's a really big guy, strong guy, he just, like, he's kind of a great hammer and a bad nail. Like, if things go bad, he's going to be in trouble. And Krylov is the opposite. Krylov has a good hammer and a good nail. Like, you can kind of trust him to take a beating. I mean, he got this, there's this fluke choke, triangle choke against Paul Craig, but Ryan Spann doesn't have that type of jiu-jitsu. He has, like, strongman jiu-jitsu, where if he gets on top of you, yes, if he grabs your head, you're going to be in trouble. But I think Krylov has really improved as well, just watching his last couple of fights, especially against Gus. He came out, if he comes out the same way against Ryan Spann that he came out way against Alex Gustafsson, this is going to be a wrap. In round 1, under round 1.5, under round 2, for sure. Like, these guys aren't going all the way. And if it does go all the way, then I think Nikita's going to be, at least, it's going to be because of Nikita. Either he survived, or he just ground and pounded, or he just, like, wrestled him down. Because he does have that option. He did that to Johnny Walker, and that was actually my first time watching Krylov fight, and I was really impressed. And okay, now the last fight I want to talk about is Said Nurmagomedov versus Jonathan Martinez. Now, Jonathan Martinez is a very good fighter. He's a very, very strong fighter. He beat someone good his last fight, too. Let me check this. He's coming off a win against Alejandro Perez. Oh, Cub Swanson. Yeah, Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson I'm a huge, huge fan of, and he really just destroyed Cub with leg kicks. So, this kid is a stud, but also Said Nurmagomedov. I mean, come on. This guy's a stud too. His last name, he just beat a really, really good wrestler, Sadyukub Kakramanov. And he has sick jiu-jitsu, and he's only minus 200. Like, this, I would have capped this at, I mean, a big part of why he's minus 200 is because Jonathan Martinez is that good. But I would have capped it at like minus 400, minus 300, just because he's such a good fighter, and he has more paths to victory. Now, it's going to be really interesting to see if the leg kicks come out against Saeed. But something you got to be careful of is Saeed could take you down and submit you. And he's got a lot of really cool submissions as well, like a ninja choke. What else is there? Unfortunately, they don't say all of them, but I know against Cody Stamann it was ninja choke. And I mean, come on, if you can choke people like a ninja, you're probably a good fighter, is all I can say. So those are my kind of like my favorites from the card coming up, and maybe I'll play some like unders and stuff to go along with them, because most of these guys I do believe can finish their opponents. So that's the fighting part of the podcast. I mean, really like a lot of fun stuff, a lot of cool stuff, and really excited tomorrow to go try this stuff out. All right, so last category, life. All right, so last part of the podcast I want to talk about is life. So some just things that I've been seeing. Students, parents need to be nicer to their kids. It's honestly like really sad when I see the dad. And it's always the dad too. I mean, sometimes you see the mom. Like moms are very supportive, dads are very critical, I'd say. Like and I saw this with this one kid that I first lesson I taught versus 4 lessons later. I mean, it's like the kid is a whole different person. First lesson, like the dad was like, you better do this, you better make sure you're doing this, like I don't know why he's doing this wrong, I keep telling him he's doing this wrong, why is he doing this wrong? And then I just told, like, you know, relax, be nice to your kid, like he's gonna work hard, he's gonna do better. And literally since I've been working with this kid, this guy hasn't lost a game in tournaments. He's gone 7-0. His new rating is going to be high. I gotta check it. They haven't posted it yet, but he gained about 100 points his last tournament. So he's doing super well. It's really cool to see just the growth and just kind of the belief. Like, I believe in this guy, and you'd be surprised. Like, I think being a coach, 80% of it is convincing your students that they're good, believing in them, and then convincing them to work hard. If they can do those two things, you've already done most of the work. Like, the spreadsheets and all this other stuff is great and amazing, but the job is, like, the big job is pretty much done. So for other people who are coaches in chess or everything else, or anything, it's not everything else, but anything else, like just having your student do 3 days a week of whatever the discipline is, and believing in them and encouraging them and having them know that you got their back. Like, I think that's a very, very big part about being a coach. And I would say the weakness for moms is they're not critical on their kid. They are oblivious to their kid almost. Like, the kid's like, I practiced, and then I'm like, well, you didn't practice. Nothing's there. They'd be like, but I told him, I can't believe it. And by the 5th week of I can't believe it, what happened? It's like, lady, it's been 5 weeks of this. Come on. Like, you got to be harder on your kid. Like, so I guess the thing you can say is dads are too hard and moms are too soft. And somewhere in the middle is where you really want to be. And I guess that's where my job comes in. To encourage the kids from the dads and to make sure the kids work and don't get spoiled by their moms. So it's just some interesting psychology I've been seeing. I'm actually reading a book right now about child psychology. It was given to me as a gift. And honestly, I don't know why I'm reading it when I can be reading chess books. But I've committed to it. I got like 100 pages left. So I was like, all right, I'm going to finish it. But it's really, really interesting seeing the psychology and kids and just like young, like babies almost. And the way you really see it is when it comes to animals, like puppies. Like when puppies get older and they have like very specific problems, like 99% of it is how they were raised. And it takes a long time, and it takes a lot of love and attention and reinforcement to really get someone to switch, or get a dog or a puppy to switch from how it used to be to how it is now. And I think that this is an interesting take on, or it's an interesting thing to have known being a chess coach and seeing like the kids who are more nervous, who are more like playing too fast. A lot of times they're gonna have a critical father, and the kids who are too lazy, who are just like whatever, have a lackadaisical mother. And out of the two, I would definitely take the lackadaisical mother more. just because who wants to be yelled at and live in stress? And that's another thing with like Indian parents specifically. Like if you have so much stress on your kid, like if you can't control an artist, and I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again, like if you try to control an artist, it's gonna be dissonance. You're gonna want one thing and another thing is gonna happen. You gotta play free. And I think that is something that I really want to see a lot of Indian parents, and especially myself. Like, I'm not a parent yet. I plan on being a parent at some point, and I really want to be encouraging on my children, but also disciplinary with my children too. Just finding that balance, which time and time again you're gonna see. Like that's the way to do it. That's the best, almost guaranteed way to have success is to balance the good and the bad. Now, the other parts I wanted to talk about, and the next two really go hand in hand. Like, when I have to go out in public and talk to people, it's like, do I have to play 20 questions with every single person I talk to? You know, like, what's your rating? How long have you been playing chess for? Why do you play chess? Who got you into chess? Have you watched The Queen's Gambit? Like, the first 500 times someone's asked me the question, okay, great, it's interesting, thank you, happy, great, la la la, amazing. But by the 501st time, it's like, and I don't want to be rude, but I really just want to be like, shut up. Like, I don't want to talk to you. Why do I have to explain myself? Why am I explaining myself to every single person I have to meet? It's like, just leave me alone. Like, why? Like, just like, what's up? Or like, bring something to my attention. I mean, okay. I mean, another thing is like, I'm a natural introvert, and Wednesday I had an open mic. Thursday I had an open mic. Friday I went out and did an open mic. Saturday I had the tournament all day. Sunday I taught lessons all day. By Monday, man, I was pooped. I came in with a hoodie and a hat on, and I played this blitz tournament. Got second place. It was honestly a lot of fun. I could have won first place. I was very close to winning first place, but it's all good. I'll take it. We got some content, some entertainment, and it's another thing I see is like people who are too nice to everyone. I don't trust you. Like when you're nice to every single person, I prefer loyal, specific people, because that means I can trust them. But when I see you say you're my favorite, and then you turn the cheek and you tell another person, hey man, you're my favorite, and then I see you on Instagram saying this is my favorite, like bro, make up your mind who's your favorite, or don't call anyone your favorite. Just say they're all friends. Like you're schmoozing and you're scazzing, you're politicking, you're politiacking. Like I don't like it. It's not me. I'm an artist. Like really, that's what I'm really kind of seeing with myself. Is that is my role in life, to create content, to create things, beautiful things, interesting things, funny things, creative things. Like that is what I want to do. I don't like this whole talking. Like if you want to really have a conversation with me, then I understand. But if you're gonna ask me the same generic questions again and again and again, and that's something I learned in Jiu Jitsu, or I apply in Jiu Jitsu. When I'm around a black belt or a purple belt, I don't just ask them like, how do I get better at Jiu Jitsu? What's the cheat code to get better at Jiu Jitsu? What move always works? No, I don't do that. Like if they beat me at something, I try to ask them specific. Okay, what do I do next time? Like teach me what I should do there. That everyone is happy to teach, because then it's like you're asking my expertise, and I have a specific answer, and we're talking about the material. Like if you really want to talk to an introvert, if you really want to talk to someone, talk about what they do in a very specific manner. Like if someone started talking to me about the Sozen and the Najdorf, and brought up like early A6B5, early 97, and ideas like that, I would be way more interested in that conversation, because then I can learn, then I can get better. But if I have to copy and paste an answer that I've copy and pasted 100 times, no one wants to do that. No one wants to say the same thing again and again. So be specific with your questions. That's going to help way more. And that is why the older I get, the more I understand Squidward tentacles from SpongeBob. He's so sick and tired of having to deal with. And when I was younger, I was more of a SpongeBob, and I would be like jumping up and down, happy to talk to this person, happy to talk to this person, let me talk to this person. And as I got older and older, I'm like, dude, I've already had this conversation 1,000 times. I can't keep having this conversation, you know? Like at some point, like do something new, or like I just want to be at home making content like this podcast, or putting stuff on TikTok, putting stuff on Instagram, putting stuff on YouTube, or studying the like the Stonewall Dutch, or like mainline E4 or mainline C4, making opening spreadsheet, all these different things. That's what I want to be doing. not just wasting my time. The older I get, the more I realize time is important and I can't waste it anymore. I'm 28 years old, guys. All right. And that is why I think I'm starting to become an actual adult. I'm being a lot more serious, less talkative, more about my business. I'm here for this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get out. I do that with stand-up. I do that with chess. I do that with chess tournaments. And, what I really like to do is, like, I have, if you have to wonder if you're my best friend or one of my good friends, then you're probably not one of my good friends. Like, I have my set of friends that I could talk forever with, or I just enjoy being around. Like, something will always happen. And I know, like, you gotta leave room for other people to get there, but do it naturally. Don't try to force it. Don't just ask questions and ask another question and ask a question to question. I'll be like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Leave me alone. I just want to go home. And actually, that is something I don't think I talked about in stand-up that I wanted to. But every open mic before I go up, it's like the set before me. I always had this urge, like, dude, I'm just gonna go home. Like, I don't want to do this. I'm just gonna go home. And I've learned, like, you just push through it. You tell that inner voice to kindly shut your mouth. And, like, this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I practice for. So I'm going to do it. And pushing through that has definitely made me a stronger, better person. And let's see where it goes. Okay, the last thing that I want to say in episode 30 of the Master of None podcast is, why would anyone live in a cold place? New York, Boston, Antarctica, what else? Iceland. These places are so cold. Why would we go to cold places? You don't have to live there. Like, I was watching a Game of Thrones scene the other day about these guys surrounded by White Walkers in a frozen lake. Why are you in such a cold place? You don't have to be there. Like, why do people, like, you can live anywhere in the world. Okay, I understand. If you're a kid, you're born somewhere, like, okay, you have to stay there. But at some point in life, you get a choice. Why would you live somewhere cold? Who likes to be cold? It's cold. You're like, no one moves fast. Like, dude, I don't like running in the cold. I like running when it's nice, warm out, hot out, burning out. Like, that's the move, dude. So, to everyone listening to this, to everyone who got this far, God bless Hotlanta. God bless Arizona. God bless Florida. But God doesn't bless California. All right. Peace out, boys and girls, whoever's watching. Peace.